What's going on, everybody? It's your man Khalif Wins, and welcome to episode 8 of Making Better Tracks. I'm joined here once again with my co-host Dccarsonmusic. Everybody give it up to Dccarsonmusic in the house.
What's up?
Follow him. His information, link in description. You can follow him now. My name is Khalif Wins. We're here for episode 8, the last episode of season 1 of Making Better Tracks. And today's topic is 10 things Akai can do to dominate the production market. I repeat, 10 things Akai can do to dominate the production market. Now, before I start the show, I want to make a couple things very clear. As longtime Akai customers, DC and myself, since the 1990s, we want to see Akai win in this current production marketplace. What we're presenting are suggestions, not complaints, suggestions, I repeat, in hopes that Akai sees this video and implements these ideas onto their current platform and their current gear. And yes, we all know the sayings, use what you already have. Some people are never satisfied. This is not about complaining, this is about added suggestions so we can add better tools to make better music. But these primarily are for Akai to improve the existing line of gear. For anybody watching this video, if you have any helpful suggestions, please put them in the comments so hopefully Akai can see them and considering adding them to their platforms. Warning, please don't troll in the comments. We're not here by that. We're not here about complaints. Complaining about a company does nothing to help that company at all. That's a fact. Now let's get to our 10 suggestions on things that both DC and I would like to share to Akai to implement in their current line of gear. We heard the rumblings about Akai, MPC XL, and all this other stuff, but nothing is out as of today on episode 8. But here are our suggestions, and I'll start with my 5. Number 1, suggestions for Akai's line of gear. A linear arrangement view, just like the Akai Force. Have it available on all your gear on the MPC X or the new version of the X, the Live, the Key, MPC Key, and the One. Do you understand what I'm saying? A linear arrangement view is something that I would love on the MPC Key or the MPC X, because the Akai Force have it. I would love it. It helps us see the view, and the advantages are, yes, we're used to the old school Akai format. There's not a shot to that. Keep that, but add this linear arrangement view. My second suggestion, add Serato sample to the software suite. Previously, Akai, you created products with Serato, the AFX and the AMX. If you brokered a new partnership with Serato Sample and a new MPC key, that will work wonders to add to our sampling palette. As everybody all knows, every platform, whether it's Native Instruments, Akai, or Ableton, and so on and so forth, and Serato has different algorithms, and Serato Sample is one of the most popular time-stretching algorithms, and it makes it sound excellent. So please, Akai, consider adding Serato Sample to the suite of plugins. The third suggestion, a revised GUI. No shot at the current GUI, but we're talking about something different. Less clicks equals more hits. I repeat, Akai, less clicks equals more hips. Hips. Wow, my hips don't lie. It's funny. It'll solve the problem with the menu diving for certain tasks. Provide more consolidated process views for tools so we can create more of an ease of use. This is a third suggestion. My fourth suggestion is, you may think I'm crazy, but Akai, please create an effects pedal box for producers. An external box that's not an MPC. I'm telling you, you guys will make millions. You don't believe me? Amplitude has current boxes out. Eventide sells millions of those guitar pedal boxes. Hologram Microcosm is one of the most viewed effects pedal boxes. And if Akai, if you came out with an external effects pedals box, many producers usually run our sounds through the pedals to add colors to our sounds. Can you imagine if an Akai put their suite of software effects into an external box that's not an MPC to add to the current line? Do you understand what I'm saying? It will add such a palette. Think about it. Producers are already buying boxes from other platforms and other locations. Why not create an external Akai-based effects pedal box? Don't call it a guitar pedal box. Call it a multi-pedal box. Think Eventide H9 or the H9 Max and H9 series. For 30 years, Akai, you've been known for your unique sound of the MPC 3000 and the punchier drums. It gives you the opportunity to have your suite of effects, a new effects to your unique sound in an external box that you can sell, which will not only bring new customers in your way, it'll really appease the sound designers out there. For this suggestion also here, your advantages, Akai, if you create a new external effects box. You can make drums and 808 bass stand out on an external device that's not an MPC key. Instead of cramming all that processing power in another MPC, just have an external effects box. Advantages, you can create better atmospheres and new sonic textures with delay and reverb effects in a different box outside of the MPC of the gear. Example, Eventide H90. And last but not least, the reason I think that you should most definitely have an effects box added to your line, you can put the MPC 3000, MPC 60 color effects in that box. You can use the hardware and circuitry that you had installed in the MPC 3060, pre-installed in an external pedal box that'll give us the color, the sound, our effects. Last but not least, you can upgrade your current line of gear with performance improvements, 8 gigs of RAM, better CPU, and also USB-C inputs on all your gear. This is 2023, and more updated options can increase your capabilities on that gear. DC, I'll leave the floor to you. What is your suggestions for Akai to add to their pieces of gear?
All right, let's start with number one. The number one is this. The thing I see is that Akai. I say this with love. You see this behind me? Well, you might not be able to see it behind me. But yeah,
MPC
you see it
3000.
3000. And there's a 2000 sitting on the floor that I was working on some stuff. Listen, how can you not have your own algorithms for your boxes, right? And the live, the X and stuff. That's what I'm going to say. Is that you should be able to get your 60 nailed. You should be able to get the 3000 algorithm. It's close, and it does add some stuff, but it needs a little warmth and punch. That's the biggest thing I would sit back and say that's going to make you a winner. On the algorithm side is to get that. I know Flavor Pro, and it's got some stuff in there, but that, as well as, you know, if you're going to use that 1200 algorithm, there's a way that you can do this thing where it's a lot more authentic. And I'm just going to encourage you to do better. The other one is this. All right, okay, I think that we were into the boxes, and we've got the force, we've got the live, we've got the one, we've got all the key, all that good stuff. But you also were known for samplers. Why not have an algorithm also, since we're going down this AI path and, you know, emulation path, that has like an S950? It has an S900. It has the S2800. All your samplers, why not have it where I can click in there and go back to one of those old school things, the S700, which people don't know about, which is great 12-bit. Why not have something in there that you could utilize that allow me to use those things since we're not using the standalone samplers? Which, side note, I'm going to sit here and tell you, you got these controllers, why not just make a doggone box that doesn't have pads or anything, but it has the whole operating system, so you can use your controller with one of those doggone little things, or any controller. But anyway,
I'm not. Hold on. Don't leave off that point. Though that's a great point. And just to clarify for everybody, as a DJ, we have controllers that handle the effects and pad features of DJ softwares. I think that's a great suggestion that Akai can implement. It can be a workflow thing. What Presonus has that with their controllers. Even Akai, you guys created something for FL Studio users. That's an external controller other than the software. That's a great suggestion, DC. I didn't want to move past that so fast, but continue.
Oh, no problem. The other one is a power booster. It's very similar to one of your points with the 8 gigs and stuff like that. Why don't I have something I can kick in the back of, from USB to give me a little more power boost? And the other thing, I'm just trying to figure out, how is it you allow me to install a SSD but not my own RAM? I'm trying to process that, but I don't understand why. I understand stuff can get older and things like that, but check this out. I mean, at the end of the day is we still putting RAM in old school things. I just told you what I have. So why not have it where you're going forward, allow them to put that RAM in? I know you can run into some things with that, but at the end of the day, I think that you get the RAM issue should be settled by your next major update. A year from now, the RAM shouldn't even be a discussion. The other thing I'm gonna say is
hold on, because you're saying such good points, brother, and it shouldn't be ran past. I used to own a Akai MPC 1000, and I could install the RAM in the 1000. And what DC said is true for all the people that are like, oh my God, what is he talking about? I seen this on the forums. No, think about it. If you could do that on an MPC 1000, we are in 2023. Like Akai, that's another moneymaker. You can sell your own partition RAM for the new pieces of gear and leave extra slots for RAM that can be purchased directly from your site. And we're retailers. That's a great moneymaker. DC, I did not want you to run past that point because that's a magnificent point. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. Another one is this: take classic, and it's kind of in line with your pedal suggestion. Take classic channel strips from well-known albums and make them as presets for your doggone machines. So, for example,
It's a good point. Because Aventai does it with the guitar pedals. Aventai does it for the guitar pedal modeling.
Right, because think about it. Most channels back then was SSL and Neve into a 1176 compressor, into a good reverb or delay or whatnot. Why not have them in there? And again, your GUI doesn't have to be. We understand the more graphics, the more CPU hog it is. It doesn't have to be extensive. It just needs to be kind of like you have it right now. But if I'm able to take the same vocal strip that Dre used in a song and then put it there, or I would definitely say, even if you had the microphone emulation, if I was able to take that whole thing, even though you're not doing too much vocals in there, but if I'm able to take those things from famous albums and use whatever channel that they use, like if I use what Rakim used, or if I was able to use something, whatever it is, if I'm able to use that, that can make some things easier, or what was generally used on the 1200, what was generally used on the 60. That will make life easier. Then all they have to do is tweak. I mean, we're into the age now where presets is the thing. So I would sit back and say, SSL or Neve, definitely your compressors, definitely that stuff works. Kai, this is free right here, and this is huge. You got this doggone MPC key, which we all know, if we've been said, that's kind of like the ASR. Why do you not have an ASR10 emulation in there?
That's magnificent. Go ahead.
I don't know if there's any, any kind of legalities to it, but I am sitting here telling you that if you slap that thing off into the next, you slap that in there, and it's close. These keyboards, you can basically this. If I were doing it and I want to give life to the the 61 key line, that's exactly what I would do. You're gonna wind up breathing life into it.
They don't even have to make a new MPC key. They can just make a firmware update. Make a firmware update. Like, again, I repeat, this is episode 8. We're talking about 10 things Akai can do to dominate the production market. DC is in his points, which are so great that I have to say, pause, DC, hold on, don't run past it. Like, real talk. And I want everybody to see this video to understand these are suggestions as if we were sitting across from Akai, somebody who Akai was looking, and we're pleading with Akai to say, hey, here's some added suggestions so that we can work better with our current existing tool set or future existing tool sets. DC, continue.
All right, then, Frank, what's the most expensive MPC out here right now?
On eBay, MPC 3000 bar none, or MPC 62 bar none.
And people are what, $5,000-$6,000?
Yeah, I would, if I had the money, I would pay $5,000 for a 3000 any day if I had the money. Go ahead.
Right. So my thing is this: get with Roger Lynn and push out a limited edition 3060. To me, it's kind of like if you make 1,000, you will sell 1,000. If you make 3,000, you will sell 3,000. If you make 5,000, you will sell a whole bunch, but you would have more than made your money. You already have the software, all other stuff. I mean, there's other software out there. We don't even have to say the name that, it's kind of in the freeware type of thing now, because it's been abandoned stuff. Go and take that thing and utilize it. It's just too doggone easy. Even if you want to modernize it and make the screen a little better or do a few things, you already have the code. Get with him. This is just too easy. I understand. Well, look, you already have the schematics. You already have the stuff like that. You can already go in and reimburse. You're not recreating the wheel. You're just basically starting a production line up to do something. And even if the converters are not close, I mean, you got people like Farad you can talk to. You got other folks out there that you can that because Farad can do like the boost or the outputs. That's really nice. I'm just saying, if they're releasing 1200s and it's real hard to keep those in stock, we have to wait forever to get them. Come on. I'm just saying, if you can do it, do it. And then I think my last point.
Oh, no. You saying too much gold and you trying to run. Listen, Akai, please. Did you hear what and again, please. Like he said, I'm just reiterating the obvious, and we said this on other Making Better Track shows. If Rawsome re-released the SP1200, and like he said, they can't even keep them on the shelves, and people are willing to pay $44,000 plus for them, right? Akai, what DC said, if you get Bruce Forat, broker deal with Roger Lynn, you think you ain't gonna get millions of dollars back in revenue? Akai, if you sold a brand new, let's not even try to make it super futuristic. Take the MPC 3000, slightly modernize it, use the same parts, and sell it for $3,000, you think we ain't buying that? You won't be able to keep that off the shelves. Akai, I think that's my favorite suggestion for Akai. Re-release a reissue of the MPC 3000. And I guarantee you, you are going to sell out and not be able to keep it in stock if you make the same 3000 and just make it like more adaptable now. USB-C inputs, SD card inputs, SSD drive input, same output, same input, same circuitry. You will sell out the first week and won't be able to keep it in stock. I'm telling you right, Akai, if you forget everything we said, if you reissue the MPC 3000 and modernize it, just like Rawsome did the SP1200, you will sell out and make millions of dollars in the first year. I'm telling you now. Go ahead, DC. That's it.
Right, but I mean, it's a thing that said, well, they're not selling the chips. Guess what? There are chips out there. I mean, think about it. We got freaking robots that can vacuum our house and we don't tell it where to go. How can you tell me you cannot emulate it? We are into an age where we're emulating a lot of stuff. So there's got to be that way to do it. And I mean, you know, some people may say, well, we can't. Well, you made the Renaissance. That's what it was based off of. Your Renaissance was the 3000. You were trying to revive it, but it was almost like you were trying to go into an area. But now you should really clearly see all the debate. Most of the debate that you see going on in these groups is centered around 3060 era. So that to tell me is that, hey, if I can sit back and do a reissue, I mean, then maybe that may be something. And you might have some tweaks and things like that. But as long as you get the converters right, which you can do, you're going to be fine. Even if it's not all metal, as long as it's 30, you're going to win. That's it. And
we going to pay for it. We going to pay for, listen. If I had the money and you reissued the 3000, I would have a long conversation with my wife and say, listen, trust me, you don't understand. This got to get bought. Real talk. What producer on planet Earth that's even our age range or even younger? And that's the thing, Akai. This is not, our suggestions are not based off of our demographics or age group. What we're suggesting is things that are bringing a new demographic, a new market, while appeasing the old market at the same dang time. Sorry, DC. I'm really stressing your point. That's a fire point. Continue.
No, it's perfectly fine. I mean, because at the end of the day is, you know, like for example, the 3K even had a thing where you had you were able to put in like a monitor outlet. Well, doggone HDMI that thing and be done with it. I'm telling you, you make this machine, you are going to sell the crap out of them. And if you got to a point where I can use it and it's got an emulation, because that's the thing about it is that, and y'all see, I've used a lot of old school stuff. It's nice, and I use them sometimes for sound design mainly because, I mean, you're going to dump them in the Pro Tools or Cubase or whatever it is. But I'm just sitting there saying for the experience, this works. And then my last one, we can go back to any of that, is that, listen, I got this nice shiny channel strip. Not channel strip, I have this nice shiny touch strip. Along with what Frank said about this router sample and being able to break stuff out, why can't I have it set up where I can actually scratch on using that touch strip? If I bring in a song and I'm able to kind of do it, or I can use that to edit the beginning and the end of the sample, stuff like that. Now, if you can do it, somebody let me know, but I can use that to editing. I'm just telling you, there's so many things you can do. That's it.
No, brother, listen. And again, for anybody watching this, put your suggestions in the comments. Again, I repeat, and I want to reiterate this to everybody. We are longtime Akai customers. I got my first MPC 2000 in the 90s. Yes, I'm that old. I don't care. I don't care. And since the 90s, we want to see Akai win. This is not about complaints. This is about suggestions. This isn't about, oh my God, Akai needs to do this and that, and trying to come up with unrealistic miracles. No, we're talking about realistic improvements and suggestions. And Akai, if you're watching this, please consider these choices, especially DC's last choice about reissuing the 3000. We want to see Akai win. We're not saying that you're losing, again, for the trolls out there. We're not saying that we're not being negative. We're giving constructive suggestions because on the internet, it's flooded with people complaining. It's flooded with people trying to have these dire opinions as if they won't interact with Akai in the future and they mess up their brand. No, we are actually offering suggestions because we want to see the platform win. What do I mean? Look at what's behind DC. MPC 3000, ASR 10. I have an MPC key, an MPC X. I had a 2000, so on and so forth. The 1000. I've spent thousands. We have both spent thousands of dollars on your products, Akai. And as longtime customers, we're just begging to ask for a few suggestions to be placed in your new line of gear. Doesn't have to be hardware, it can be firmware, but take these suggestions and really add it to your consideration for your new palette of gear, new release of software. Because again, who wants to deal with another MPC or Akai hate rant? I don't want to do it. Complaining does nothing. Complaining does nothing. I'll go back over my 5 real quick. I want to hear your 5 so we can do it in a synopsis. So here are 10 quick suggestions for what we suggest for Akai. Here's my 5. I'll run through them real quick. DC run through his, and we'll meet you on the other side. Again, like I said, please, Akai, consider putting your linear arrangement view in all of your hardware products. Please consider creating a partnership with Serato Sample. You previously had relationships with Serato with the AFX and AMX, and their time stretch algorithm is magnificent. Revise your GUI. Nothing's wrong with the current GUI, but listen, adding less clicks equals more hits. That's what I'll say. 4th, please, Akai, I'm begging you guys, please sell an external pedal box that has all your effects in the MPC 3000 and 60 emulations and things of that nature, or whatever emulations, or just mastering channel strips and whatever in it so it can colorize sounds. We're doing it anyway. And number 5, upgrade your current line of gear. 8 gigs of RAM, better CPU, USB-C inputs on all your gear. This is 2023. Let's move into that. DC, just overview your quick 5 real quick, please.
All right, get your own algorithms on OG products, right? Get the old school samplers algorithms and develop them and put them in your machines, as well as the software. I would say create a power booster where you can take what you have now and maybe boost the products you already have. Take a classic channel strip, from an album or something like that, and use that, create as a preset. ASR 10 and emulation, that's gonna make you money. The other, get with Roger Land, do your 3000, 60, as well as 60, create a limited edition. And the last one, being able to scratch with the touch strip. That's it.
That's great. Listen, if anybody has any suggestions, please put it in the comments, and please just share it to Akai. It's just suggestions. We don't say we know everything, but we are men of a particular age who have invested so much money in Akai since the 90s. So we're just saying, for the younger producers, for the older producers, these are suggestions. If you're younger, great, put some suggestions. If you're older, great, put some suggestions. And hopefully Akai will hear it. But before I move further, I just want to tell anybody, if you want to support my show, please subscribe and share. If you want to donate to help build this show, this is the end of season 1. I'll be picking up season 2. I'm about to have a son, so please, if you want to add to things like that, please donate to build my show. Also, I want to put out there real quick, because I want everybody to understand DC Carson's a brand and things of that nature, please follow DC Carson on Instagram and on YouTube. All the information is linked in bios. I can't play this. Look at this. Look at his gear right here. This brother has. Oh, can't click that here. But he has classic gear. He does music covers, composition. He makes stuff on MPC Key. He does great covers. He makes stuff on the MPC 3000, SP 404, things of that nature, ASR 10. He has all this gear. He has a great, great brand. Please follow him now for real. Follow him now for real. Now, let me talk about this piece of gear that just came out for NAMM, when they just announced the NAMM, and I want to share with you. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's not for me, but it looks cool, and just check it out. It's the new Polybend tracker. It says make an album on the go. Can you see this? And then it looks kind of, I'm not going to lie, it looks kind of neat. Pre-order $6.99. What does it have? Mini, a highly acclaimed tracker as of all. Tracker Mini is portable, standalone audio workstation with 8 tracks to sequence stereo audio and MIDI, built-in battery and microphone, gamepad quality interface with improved user, more memory, stereo sampling, and the Mini is only small in size. Look at that. Line in, line out, MIDI in, MIDI out. Real simple. We've refined the signal path to provide more headroom and pristine stereo audio and playback. Additionally, we've added genre-specific sample packs preloaded, and audio over USB. Ooh, that's fire. And have increased to 4 times the capacity of the original tracker. Look at this. Studio in your hands. Okay, we see the marketing. Did you know these albums are made on a tracker? Oh, they have albums that are made exclusively on the original tracker. That's dope. There's a whole culture, full list of features, a pattern, 8 universal tracks for audio and MIDI. That looks so old school in the tracks. It's maybe not for me. Next, instrument parameters and automation. This mode, okay, great. Sample player. Play your samples as they are, or create an instrument with modes like forward, backup, or ping pong loop. That's attractive to me. Slicer and beat slicer. This mode is perfect for making jungle break beats. Okay, very Akai-like. All right. Wavetable synthesis. Okay. Granular synthesis. Sample editor. Okay. Sample loader. Okay, that's refined. Sample recorder. Okay. Song mode. That looks kind of archaic to me, but to each his own. And perform. And mix and master. Oh, from beginning to start. Listen, I'll be honest with you. How do you feel about this piece of gear? I'm not going to lie. I'm comfortable with a Kai MPC models. I really don't need this. But how do you feel about what they're presenting right now?
It seems like a nice piece. I mean, you have some people that are not 404 or Machine Plus or Kai, the kind of, you have those people out there that rebel against the establishment or the big ones. I think that's a nice piece to have. I mean, some people are just gearheads, so I think that would be cool. I don't see anything in it that makes it's not anything that makes me go, oh, I just got to have it. It's not a feature in there, but I certainly would sit back and say that's not a good product. It seems like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not for me. I'm not, everything that does, the Key does, for me, again, it's not portable. Again, I'll buy MPC Live 2 personally. Again, to each his own. Personally, to get what I want, I'll buy and whatchamacallit, MPC Key 2, and I will, hold on, let me fix my screen. I'll buy MPC Live 2 if I want to travel. I'm comfortable, but again, it may be for somebody else. Somebody may think it's magnificent. If you think it's great, please put it in the comments. But yeah, I want to tell producers about some opportunities. Maybe if you don't know, maybe you don't want to buy a new software. Maybe you want to try new software. And there's 2 pieces of software. One of them DC put me onto, but when I saw the trial, I was like, ooh, I might download it and try it. So I want everybody to check this out. Maybe you want to try a new DAW, but right now, Cubase. Try Cubase now for 60 days. Start your 60-day trial version of Cubase that allow you to try out all the features Cubase has to offer. 60 days free, all features, no restrictions. Start immediately, no USB license are required. That is a good option for somebody that wants to have a DAW that they want to try for 60 days. Another good option for that is that if you want to try Reason Studios, $1 for the first month, 75 instruments and effects, weekly sound packs for Reason Plus. Again, no matter what your platform is, that could be a good option for other people. I'm not gonna lie. And also, I want to tell you guys, Total Studio 4 for IK Multimedia has been released. It is a pretty penny, but look what it has included. What's included in it? We'll go. Virtual instruments. It has Sample Tank 4, a massive amount of synthesizers and software. It has Syntronic
Frank, do you
2.
mind? Do you mind if you go down those? Because I have total that I can give a quick 10-second. Hey, this is why you want
Nah,
it.
if you have it, talk. Real talk. Like if you have, I don't have it, but you have.
I don't have the
you have
recent.
4.
I have the one before because this is just recently coming out.
Brother, if you got it, talk on it. So Syntronic, tell us about
Okay.
Syntronic 2.
All those old school samplers. Let me tell you something. That's got it and then some. It is great to be able to have access to stuff. You got to know which one it's trying to emulate. But I am sitting up here telling you that Syntronic. I don't just have it in my computer. There's a version that's on your iPad that I use. Just keeping it real. It's a good one to have. Look, you see all that in there? I mean, that thing is pretty good like this. You know how we buy native instruments and the whole thing? You could do some stuff with. You could buy this thing and do some stuff with, especially if you're doing kind of like some of the older school, drum and bass. You're doing techno. You're doing hip hop. You're doing R&B. It's got stuff in there. You'll eventually get into it where you're scoring this whole program. It'll do well. But Syntronic, I love it.
All right. Next, it has a Miroslav Philharmonic, which is on Total Max 3.
I'm here to tell y'all, man, that thing sounds good. I've been using this program, over 10 years. You want to talk about some very good violin or string articulations, it's good. If you're not a string player, it will make it easier for you. I played violin in the second grade, so I understand that from cello to viola to violin, all that good stuff, and how you set it up because they're in different frequencies. But I'm telling you, you take a good fire trap beat, or old boom bap, and you throw them strings in there, and it'll already do it for you, and you can change the patterns and stuff like that. There's already patterns in there, so you can just press a key, and it'll go like, for example, you can make like Star Wars type of intense emotional scenes with those strings.
So it's basically like good for sync license work as well, so to put a palette of interest.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Sampletron, the old school Mellotrons. Tell me about that.
That goes without saying. It's good. It's good. Sampletrons and stuff, like a lot of Beatles, a lot of earlier stuff, when they didn't have samplers, they had to use basically like a tape, and they would record it and then play it back. You'll see some Stevie Wonders used them, all that kind of good stuff. It definitely emulates it. They're great. If you want like a lo-fi for strings type of stuff, like remember, like I'll give it to a perfect example. Frank, do you remember when Incredible Hulk used to go off and you would hear kind of like that sad music where he walking down the road by himself? Yeah. All right, that thing is able to give you emotion like that.
Wow, okay. So next, Hammond, the organ. Well, that's enough said. That's organs. That's enough said.
It's fire. And if you can't play the organ, I can't help you.
No, mono bass. How does this sound?
Retail Therapy had mono bass.
Oh yeah, everybody hit download a stream his single Retail Therapy on Spotify now. You know what I'm saying? How realistic are the bass sounds?
Frank, you can switch it from slap to pluck to in all points in between. You can change the strings from flat round, which, okay, if you have round wound, when you move your fingers up, you're going to hear your fingers because it's grooved. Flat wound, a lot of Motown, that kind of stuff, where you're not hearing as much string fret noise. Not fret noise, but string noise. I can change it from a 4-string to a 5-string. I can use fretless. I can use a P bass. You already know Bootsy Collins, that type of stuff. To the jazz, a bass type of stuff. You think about, the beginning. Don't stop till you get enough. Doom, 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 doom. That's jazz. I'm just telling y'all, this thing right here. If you want some fire bass emulations, you better get this one.
Yeah, look at all these different types of bass. So this is kind of fire. I never even considered this, but now that I'm looking at all of these instruments, Now,
Hold on, let me change that. I'm sorry, I did that. I gave you the wrong, not jazz bass. That was a Music Man that was used, and it's
Okay.
different. But anyway, if you look at, I know some people not play bass. I do play bass, but the thing is, if you want a fire bass line, Frank, my stamp of approval is on this one all day.
All right. Now the Moto drum. How are the drum emulations here?
Oh God.
And how do they differ from Akai's current drum emulations? Their drum synth.
Well, here's the thing. That's going to be live. The great thing about that is that other sound libraries, they had, like Superior Drummer and Addictive Drums and stuff like that. Even the Easy Drummers, they actually use a lot of the sounds. This one, they use more artificial intelligence. For example, the other ones, they will actually, if I want to have like a stick hit, or I want to have like I'm hitting the snare more so around the rim than in the middle of it. You would sample that. This emulates it, and I can change you can change so much. And then, like, for example, like all them old school James Brown drums that we used to want, but now you can't really sample. They already got them programmed in there, dude. And it's got like stuff to change, like the room miking. Each drum, you can change the drum, you can change which mic, you can change. It's got channel strips, similar to the T-Rex and stuff in there, mix box. I'm telling you, that right there. And I know I'm trying to sound like an Akai multimedia fanboy, but that drum right there, I use them with my E-drums.
Oh, that's perfect with your E-drums because it has all the emulations and articulation.
Yes, it is, bro. I'm just telling you. Fire.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't consider this, but when I grow up and get some money, I'm most definitely invest. Bass tone. Okay, so what about these this guitar pedal effects?
Dude, that's probably that and dang on it, what is the native instrument called theirs?
Guitar rig. Guitar rig.
Right, because I have that as well. I have that one as well. I like Guitar Rig, but I really like this one, both of them. I mean, because of some of the extensive stuff with the amps and moving things around and then the presets. I mean, that's what I think this beats the Guitar Rig is the presets in here. I mean, it's phenomenal.
That's awesome. Next, the Tone Max. I know about the Tone X Max. These are fire. If you're a sound designer, these are awesome. Awesome. Says that uses breakthrough AI machine modeling technology to let you model any sound, amp, cabinet, combo, pedal, and turn it to a plugin. Yeah, they ain't lying because this is magnificent. And hey, if they have trials, download them. What about now? This is what I want to get to, DC. What about that T-Rex? Let's talk about the T-Rex for mastering and mixing. Tell me about that.
I use my T-Rex for mastering. That'll tell you. I use it. Retail Therapy is mastered in that. It's too
now
easy.
for somebody who does like me. I don't know mastering. I usually go to Isotope and I'll be like, hey, automatically mix down this track. Well, how can this help somebody who's getting into mastering get better at mixing and mastering their songs?
So how this helps you is that it's just got a ton of presets, and it'll give you a preset based upon what you're going for. Of course, most people want to just, like, if you just want hip hop, it might have like an urban setting or something like that. But what this does is it adds in like all kind of different things from your EQ to compressors to band compressors, because I might not want to compress my higher frequency as much as I want my lower frequency. This gets you to radio ready, because it'll even tell you, it'll have the algorithms, what settings it will get you to what you need to be able to use for streaming, which again, I've done that. So this allows you very precise movement, but yet it still has presets that get you like 98% of the way there most of the time.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I saw one thing that the only reason this will make me buy the whole collection, the Tascam tape collection. Boy, if you grew up producing in the 90s like we did, the Tascam Porter, the Tascam emulation, that right there to me is, again, pardon my gear lust. But that there is worth the price tag, because I grew up using Tascam. I know you got the old Tascam, and since you're an owner of an original Tascam recorder and things of that nature, How does it stand up to what you currently own physically?
Dude, I was messing with it yesterday. Here go the thing, doing some sound design. And if I take a Waves not a Waves, I'm sorry, a SSL emulation, because a lot of people make them. And I was duplicating, I was like, that's how I came up with the idea for the channel strip for the Akai. I was duplicating what the chain would be if I was in the studio, and then doing the Waves, what the SSL and the 1176, which Mixbox had, and then doing in the tape, Frank. You know what I say that? I'm here to
Nobody knows
you.
me as Frank. You now they know.
I'm sorry. Dang on it.
You know me. I got the same problem. I be saying people's government names by mistake. It don't listen.
Right.
I be a hypocrite getting mad at you for that. Example, Angie. Another conversation another day. Like I slipping Angie's name like crazy. All right, real quick before we move further. Tiffany Michelle, this is great. Keep dropping gems. I play bass. That's a fact, Tiffany. That's a fact. Kiva Smith, she says, hips, LOL, hits. Nate Valentine, keep shredding, man. Thank you so much, King. Thank you so much. But continue.
Dude, when you want a sound design, I'm telling you, and by the way, you ain't tell me to do this, but I'm saying it. Your pack, your sound pack, I've been going through it. I made a beat. I'm telling you, fire. Everything I need. I'm absolutely not all of that, because I went ahead and got everything. I don't need nothing else.
For sure.
I don't. I put them. That's why I was looking at the SSD drives, because I said I need to get a drive and slap it on it because it's filling up my SD card.
Link in description. Link in description if you want to invest. For real talk,
dude. I'm just telling you. But what I'm saying is that when you get in here, and especially y'all that use like Akai's the MPC software, and when you start slapping up, so here's the thing I'm gonna say before we move on. The tendency is, because it's a resource hog, is to slap it on a bus and be done with it. You can slap the master in. They got some master work, but the beauty comes in. The effect of tape is cumulative. So you may have to print it, but when you start adding on kick, snare, stuff like that, gluing it all together into your vocals, you're gonna have magic. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but look at all of this tape emulation. This is fire to me. I mean, I think this is worth the price of admission. It has the Tascam 388. It has the TIAC. Oh my God! Like this to me is worth it. And that's part of the Total Max 4 studio for IK Multimedia. Look it up on Google. Next, what's this ARC thing? Don't let mixing spoil the room. ARC uses groundbreaking new analysis correction algorithm. Excuse me, that measures your room.
It lets you calibrate your room. Yeah, it lets you calibrate your room. Like my room is not treated, but I use the headphones, the slate thing, but I plan on treating it. It's just I don't want to half do it. So it's kind of like, what's the point of half doing your room when you need to do it? But it allows you to calibrate it. You just put, because your lows and your highs are going to be different. So you're just it's just used to calibrate your room, calibrate the speakers to your room so that you can hear better and mix better.
Let me refresh this page right quick because it's acting up. All right, Groom, next. Mixbox, yes. Mixbox is fire. I've heard great things, and they have an iPad version. Is it a resource hog on your computer?
No, not really.
I like this.
And part of it, look how basic those things look. They don't look like the graphics don't look very detailed, do they? That helps with the resources, basically CPU usage. So some of that stuff in there, man, I've got like a tape one in there that you can kind of do like a Walkman effect on it. It's pretty good.
I like that. Mastering console, that's kind of like, mastering.
Oh stuff. God, yeah, it's fire.
So again, like I'm not gonna hold you. Look at this, 30 new products included. My God, there's no reason to not want this. But yeah, everybody check out Total Max 4. Real talk, it seems like a great investment. I'm not gonna lie, if I had the bread, I get it. But speaking about that, hey, if you want to invest in a sound bundle for your sound design plans, please hit the link in the description and get that for sure. Please stream Retail Therapy on Spotify from DC Carson. Trust me, it's a song you can play in a car on the way to go shopping, a song you can play in the house when you chilling, a song when you out with your friends for sure. But yeah, if you need sound packs and need sound designs, we got the 3000 808 drum bundle. We got the boom bap bundle for boom bap producers. We got synth bundles. We got one shots. We got loops. If you want to invest in that, link in description right now. Again, because as producers, we all hold on. Let me fix this. We all need tools because we're trying to make hits. And let's get to this part of the conversation. And me and DC talked about this to infinity on the phone, but now we're going to bring the conversation we usually have on the phone on the internet. DC, you know what I'm going to say. Producers, there's two things I'm going to say, and DC's going to smile because he's more about the mental headspace person. When are we all going to decide to commit to really taking our production dreams seriously? That's the first thing I say. And second, what is stopping you from really taking your production skills seriously because you have a lot of work, and why are you keeping all of your beats and your tracks stuck in your laptop? Me and DC has literally had this conversation to nauseum offline, but let's bring that topic, especially the producers that are watching this right now. I know today's topic is 10 things Akai can do to dominate the production market. Great, we've discussed that, and now we're adding greater value. Producers, why are you holding your beats hostage, and why are you not committing to get to your music and production goals, and what's stopping you? Because before I ask DC to chime in on this, think about this, and I said it to myself. I'm about to have a newborn son in 2 weeks. This is the last episode of this first season of Making Better Tracks, and when my new son, after like a few months, I get adjusted to the house, stuff like that, and I'm going to come back with the show. But while my son's sleeping, I'm going to have my headphones on so it don't create noise, and I'm going to create beats, and I'm deciding to commit to that. What does that mean? Think about how many beats all of us as producers have made, sketches, drafts in our laptop. And then we say the words that stop our progress. Oh, that's not good enough because I don't like that snare. That's not good enough because I don't like this the way. I don't think it's perfect. Why don't we just release our imperfections and then put it to streaming and next? Release a song next. Why is it that we have such the work ethic for other areas of our life, but we're not really taking our production seriously enough to just release it? And DC, I want you to chime. We've talked about this a million times offline, but we never talked about it online. Tell me what you feel about that, because I know what your opinions are going to be. We've literally talked about this a lot.
What is this? So playing baseball younger, is that the reality is that I struck out way more than I actually hit the ball or got on base. And so the thing is, but you have to have a mindset that I'm gonna keep swinging. I mean, and you got to look at it to a point where, what you think is garbage, you got to get out your head and thinking everything you're doing is garbage. Everything might sound like garbage. Understand this, that sometimes people don't recognize what, that thing is, one man's garbage is another man's art. And sometimes people don't recognize talent. Do y'all realize how many times Mariah Carey got turned down before somebody signed her? Do you realize how many that Toni Braxton got turned down and she was discovered humming, pumping gas? That's how she got found. My point,
Prince got booed. Prince got booed opening up for the Rolling Stones. Let's talk about that.
You'll go down there and look at a lot of people. Heck, you look at Steve Harvey used to get booed. A lot of comedians, we see them in their greatness, but we don't see them in their work. We don't see them in their brokenness. And I'm sitting up here saying to y'all is that at the end of the day is your goal is to put it out and see what works. That's it. That's it. And then once you start getting buzzed, now that allows you to kind of bracket exactly which direction you need to go.
But everybody trying to put out perfect work. So I'm going to say this, and I'm glad you used the word buzz. I'll say this to every producer watching this. We all, myself included, will not get the treasures that are waiting for us if we don't put out our work. And you can't build buzz without having a resume. Let's use this as your imagination. Let's say you went to your favorite artist's first song. I did this last night. Don't laugh at me. I said one of the people I look up to in churning out product is E40. And when you go to any streaming service and you scroll down all the way to E40, E40 got like 30 albums out. Too Short got like a whole bunch of albums out. When you scroll down E40's discography, I'm like, yo, if E40 sat on one of these ideas, he would have never released it. But one thing I'm learning right now, even in my process, is creating content and even creating this show, and this the last show of this first season, I was like, wow, these shows literally were in my head for years. And then I told DC, and I was like, man, let's get up on stream. Real talk. Like, let's get up and stream, because it's like, why am I keeping it in my mind? Think about this. Imagine this. The next 52 weeks of your life. 52 weeks is a year. 4 weeks is a month. And there's 365 days a year. Picture this. You work on something every day, producers. A beat. Great. You made it. Posted the streaming services as a single. If you post a beat a day to streaming services, or just like 5 tracks a week to streaming services, and just went hard on yourself for a year, not hard on yourself as a negative, but just go hard for your dreams and just post your music, think about where you'll be in a year from now. That's what I'm saying to myself. I'm like, yo, when my son is here and I can't do the content and do all this stuff, I'm gonna have my headphones, you know, because if anybody knows, if you have a newborn baby, you better not make noise. You know what I'm saying? My headphones gonna be on my ear. The crib's gonna be right there, and I'm just gonna create, release. So my suggestion to all producers watching this, like DC said about, you don't know until you put it out there. Get on the bait, get on the podium, and start swinging every day. Create, release. You can't lose. You're gonna tell me that you're gonna lose by releasing? Somebody say, "Oh my God!" There's no excuse for not putting your content. Think about it. Get a TuneCore DistroKid, set up your account, set up your publishing and publishing rights. And again, if you need help with that, hit my link in bio. I do social media consultations for 60 minutes. I'll teach you how to set up your social media. That's another conversation entirely. And once you have all your stuff set up, just commit to yourself and say, you know what, for the next 52 weeks, I'm just going to release beats, but beat tapes, tracks, singles, every idea. Get all your ideas out of your head and put them out there. What do you have to lose? But see, nobody wants to talk about that when it comes to these YouTube streets or these production video streets. Everybody, they want to talk about gear. They want to complain about gear. They want to talk about software. They want to talk about everything else but putting in the work of creating your art. Last point before I segue on, because I know DC wants to say something. Last point. What do you want your track record to be in a year? A person who just sat down and thought about it, or a person that's put in the work? I would rather spend a year putting out all my art than spend a year thinking about all my art, talking about other people. Are you going to be a sideline producer, or are you going to be on the field with your production? But DC, go ahead, because I want to share something to the ground, but go ahead.
Right. So y'all know I'm gonna always use Thriller because it's is a baseline when it talks about putting stuff. You know, do yourself a favor and go out there and Google how Thriller was made and study it as a producer, because this is gonna help you not just as a producer. It's also gonna help you as a musician. It's gonna help you as a promoter, your marketing, all that, because they did not believe in that song, and they didn't want to give him the money to do the video. So they basically self-funded and did some stuff, and basically that they worked out deals to sell the rights to do the video to get the funding for it, and the rest is doggone history. My point also being is that when the song was first done, it was called Starlight Night, which is whack as all get out. But at the end of the day is when they got in there and crafted it and changed it, it became something. And so sometimes a song is life. A song has emotions. A song has feeling. And sometimes it takes a moment to craft it. So don't let the beat sit. The bottom line is you can always take things and rework them and put them out and repackage them as something else. But if you let it sit, you're never going to know how to do all that. Understand this is the one thing I've learned is that in life, it's like learning. Failure will be a class that everyone will take, bar none. But it's the best. But it's the best. One of the best teachers. That's the thing. Like a lot of younger people not realizing that you're fearful of failing, but understand you will never get good at facing your fears until you fail. I mean, it's just that way. So you cannot be afraid just to put something out. Put it out. What's the worst somebody gonna say? Oh, this is garbage. They probably gonna say that anyway. I mean, think about it. People sit back and talk crap about Michael Jackson as this dude was walking around with a freaking Brinks truck full of Grammys and cash. Do you?
Do you listen? Listen. I'm gonna share this piece of advice that I saw from my idol DJ Jazzy Jeff. Respect the legend. If it was for DJ Jazzy Jeff, a lot of things wouldn't be moving and shaking. And he had this conversation, I think, talking to producers and artists about why they're holding in their art. And I gotta share it because it's magnificent. I gotta share this what he said.
Everybody wants a guarantee. Yes. Everybody wants a guarantee. There's no, listen, there's songs that you have no idea how they became the biggest song in the world. And there are songs that you like, this is the greatest song I ever heard, and nobody cares about it. Right. Like, there's no, you can't tell. And everybody is looking for a guarantee. Everybody's looking for the person that has the cheat code. I remember going to Babyface back in the day. Me and Will was talking. Will was just like, oh man, you the automatic hit machine. He said, oh no, I'm not. He said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because that's the truth. That's the truth. So it's very different. Like, you know, you talk to anybody in the industry. Stephen Keever said something to me that I never forgot. He said, the music industry, everybody wants to be second. Everybody wants to be second. Because nobody has the balls to create what's going to be first.
Peep this knowledge. Better than college, you heard? We have to listen to the greats. I digress. Let me keep it going because he says something that's so powerful in his video, and I gotta catch it. I don't know what part he said it at, but yo, when I get to that part, when he said he was talking to Lord Finesse, watch. Hold on.
When the person does it, you're the first person to say, we need something like. Everybody wants to be second. Ain't nobody trying to be innovative in something. That's you know, that's why it's the kid in the garage who sneaks out with something that becomes the big thing that everybody runs to do it and be second. But that's, so when you get, you know, like being frank, you were one of the best not even gonna say were, you're one of the best songwriters I've ever heard. But you don't believe that anymore. Somebody told you to let somebody else write it. Somebody else told you to let somebody else do it. The Glenn that came and sat down and played the piano and sang all of those songs for me, I watched slowly creep away. Because somebody told you, let somebody else. Same conversation we had about Dwelle. When Dwelle came to the studio after that first demo and was like, yep, they sent me down here to work. I was kind of like, listen, this is going to sound really crazy. You don't fucking need us. You don't need us. Like, I want you to come here because you want to collaborate with us. But you don't need us.
All right, let me fast forward. Hold on.
Like you're like I was listening.
This is to strip it all back. The crazy thing about it is everybody here is a musician or an artist first. You just forget it with all of the other shit. And all this is to strip it all back to being an artist first. It's kind of like I don't know anybody who's ever started playing basketball with the hopes of being in the NBA. You played it because it was fun. You played it because it was fun. Listen, we are very blessed to have a job or a profession that you enjoy doing. You could be digging a ditch. I don't know too many ditch diggers that's like this.
You see his face? That's the face that all of us have when you hear that line. Real talk. Let me fast.
Goosebumps. You're not going to be able to give them. You listen. You know how many? You know, blue chips. Blue chip.
I want to get to this one point. I hope I catch it.
Music. Like, you don't wake up one day unless something happens to you that you just lose your talent. That talent, you came in with that talent. Like, there's a reason. There's a reason that you're sitting back like, damn, you know, I'm riding down the street listening to Backspin and Sweat the Technique comes on and I was just like, damn. Yo, he's still around. He's still around.
Think about it like Lord Finesse.
Lord Finesse.
All right, I think this is the line right here. This is the point of the conversation I want to catch.
He was great. He was almost about to start crying.
But you don't even know that's goosebumps.
Hold on.
That somebody tells them that they're too old. Somebody tells them that it's not their time. You know what? No one told them that it was their time. How the fuck is it? If you can't tell me when to start, how the fuck are you gonna tell me when to stop?
That's a fact.
Like, but But you know what it is? You got to get all of them people around to understand and give them the safe space to understand that you got it. You
Oh, let me fast forward.
inside of you. Die empty.
Oh, here it is. This is the line. This is it.
I've
Yo,
always
DC,
said,
when I
listen,
tell you,
you will never.
this is literally the part of the video that I want everybody to really listen to. This speech is, I couldn't find it nowhere. I had to dig for it, like I just dig for it right now. But DJ Jazzy Jeff introduces the concept for producers and artists, but it's called Die Empty. People probably heard it from somewhere else, but listen to what he says. Listen, episode 8, Making Better Tracks. We talked about 10 things that Akai can do to dominate the production market. Right now, we're talking to fellow producers like ourselves, and why are we holding back our gifts and using them and not using them like we could to our fullest potential? We have not because we don't use our gifts. Listen to what DJ Jazzy Jeff says right here. Please, if you forget everything, listen to this.
Never put out all of the music that you make in your lifetime. So this,
Like
you got all of these great songs and aren't doing anything, but you're looking at a tall black guy or Stro Elliott. But you know what it is? You got to get all of them people around to understand. I hope you're not waiting for someone to sign you to do, like, those days are over. Like, because you got all of these great songs and aren't doing anything, but you're looking at a tall black guy or Stro Elliott that it's like, yo, their shit is everywhere, and they're doing shows and people are loving them. And it's kind of like, because you know what? They're not holding on to their art. They're doing this.
Facts. Let them cook.
I've always said, listen, you will never put out all of the music that you make in your lifetime.
That's a fact. Oh my God, this is super real.
So this is what you need to do. Sell some, get the rest away. Die empty. Die empty. Don't die with shit creatively inside of you. Die empty. So however it's got to come out, if I got to throw it out, give it out, this is the album that I vacuum my floor with, get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out. Best example of that is Dilla. When he knew that his days were limited, what he did is he made sure that he got with people that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That's why he still got shit coming out that you haven't discovered. Oh my God, I got this new batch of Dilla beats. What was this? Oh, it was under somebody's bed, and so this CD he get it out. Get it out.
That right there. That's the whole ball game right there for me. Brother, if that ain't the best advice ever. Hold on, let me fix my screen. Hold up, let me fix the screen. Come on, let me remove this, fix the screen. Listen, that DJ Jazzy Jeff message, die empty. We're not gonna release all the music in our lifetime. So we just sell some and give the rest away. What he taught me in that is like, you create opportunities by not holding on to your gifts. Simple parable of the talents. So all producers that have watched this, the artists that watch this, we all have drafts in our laptop. Listen, I ain't preaching. This goes to me. When my son is born in less than 2 weeks, I'm not going to be able to stream. But what I'm going to do, create beats, release tracks. Create beats, send to artists. Create beats, sell projects. Create beats, sell, and just give it all out. Because think about that. He's right. Dilla is not here anymore, but new Dilla product is paying Dilla's family for the rest of their life because he just gave out his art. Why are we sitting on our gifts? DC, please tell me how you feel about what DJ Jazzy Jeff just said.
One, it was fire, 1,000% fire. Two, those that are younger, this is why you listen to older people. And you definitely listen to people that have been down the roads. It's because that's a concept that you don't get into time. You don't get, because there's a lot of failure. There's a lot of things that you're looking at somebody that was way up there. You know, it's like people sit back and talk about what's whack. People thought Will Smith was whack. Will Smith went from rapping to major blockbuster movies and would say what you want to say, slap after slap. He's still relevant. And the thing I'm sitting up here saying, here we are listening to Jazzy Jeff years later. My point is, the thing is, you just gotta just do it. You gotta stop. If you listen to Will Smith talk about how he got to
Quincy Jones.
Talk to Quincy Jones about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they were all at a party, and they were trying to come up with. They had the concept of the show, But they was like, well, why don't you? We'll do it. So they basically said, well, hey, all the people around, why don't you audition now? And then Will was like, no, I got to practice. And then so Quincy basically said, well, yeah, you can sit back and go home and practice, and maybe that happen, or you can get in there and use the expletive, get in there and do it right now on the spot, something to that effect. So he went in there, gathered himself together, came out, did it, and it was like they got the lawyers to start drawing up stuff like right there, because the lawyers were there. So the point being, I'm sitting here saying is, man, we listen to Eminem, but you got one shot. And really, right now, this thing is how arrogant are we, Frank? It's that I only got this moment. I don't have 5 years from now.
That's
I don't
a
have
fact.
5 minutes from now. I only have right now. I only have the present, which is why it's called a gift. Now is my gift. That's why it's called a present. I can't go back in the past and do anything. I don't want to go back in the past. And I can't go into the future. I only got now. And I agree with that. What he was saying is fire. I've had that experience in my life where it was like, I can stay here and stay in mediocrity, or I can go out and do something that was exceptional. And I use another thing. I can stay here and be an imposter, or I can come and be exceptional. And the thing is, I'm saying that Frank is right on this. You just gotta put it out. And guess what? Let me just help y'all. You're gonna look crazy. You're gonna look like you're nuts. People are gonna tell you why you're chasing that. People may tell you too old. They tell you too young. They say you're not attractive enough. They say you're too attractive. Haters are going to show up when you're about to step on stage. It is what it is. So at the end of the day is listening to other people versus doing it. It doesn't make any sense. The same thing is like a lot of us spend a whole lot of time looking on social media and doing stuff. That's time you could have put out a track or 2 or 5 or 10. So I'm just saying it's right. If you don't get nothing out of this show other than Frank's packs, because they fight, you get out of this show that now. That's a short word, but let that be your mantra now.
I'm going to play it one more time for people to understand this. Just one more time.
Get creatively inside you. Like, because you got all of these great songs and aren't doing anything, but you're looking at a tall black guy or Stro Elliott that it's like, yo, their shit is everywhere. And they're doing shows and people are loving them. And it's kind of like, because you know what? They're not holding on to their art. They're doing this. I've always said, listen, you will never put out all of the music that you make in your lifetime. So this is what you need to do. Sell some, get the rest away. Die empty. Die empty. Don't die with shit creatively inside you. Die empty. So however it's got to come out, if I got to throw it out, give it out, this is the album that I vacuum my floor with, get it out. Get it out. Best example of that is Dilla. When he knew that his days were limited, what he did is he made sure that he got with people that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That's why he still got shit coming out that you haven't discovered. Oh my God, I got this new batch of Dilla beats. What was this? Oh, it was under somebody's bed, and so this CD he get it out. Get it out.
Then that's the thing. That's the thing right there. Oh, think everybody watching this. What was the last time you had a sense of urgency in your life? I'll make it real simple. Remember when we were all kids and our mother said, yo, if you don't clean up your room, you're not going to go to the movies, or you're not going to go to Great Adventure, you're not going to go to the amusement park or something like that. And we like wait to the last minute. You know what I'm saying? When we were real younger, and like it was a whooping consequence for us. That's our generation. That's another conversation entirely. And then we just got it together because we had a sense of urgency, and we cleaned the room that we were avoiding for like hours. We cleaned it in like 15 minutes because we had a sense of urgency. So producers and artists watching this, what is your current sense of urgency? Because that's the fuel. Think about what DJ Jazzy Jeff said. We're not going to release all the music that comes to our mind in our lifetime. So just give it all out. Sell some, give it away, work, network. But where is your sense of urgency? Where is your sense of urgency? This is a huge important topic. DC?
You know why it's like that? You know why we don't die empty? Because most of us don't realize we're dying. Think about it. Human race has 100% death rate. Every last one of us die. So most of us don't die empty because we don't think that we're dying. You can be living and dying simultaneously. That's what I realized. What he was saying, I was like, you know what? I was listening to him, I was like, man, that's something that was like, just came to me is that it's because we all think that we have time. We don't know what maybe young people don't know what an hourglass is, but we don't realize is that, again, you don't die empty if you think. It's hard to grasp that until you accept the fact that we are all dying, and that's kind of morbid to look at it, but it's not really. It's to be able to face a reality and say, well, if I know that our bodies are always in a process of decay, it's appointed for man to be born and then to die. Now, I don't know what that time is. I don't know what that date is, and all I have now. Then that's how you get to that. Because right there, that was fire for me. It's fired me up.
You ain't lying. I mean, listen, everybody watching this is an encouraging video. The first part of our video, we talked about 10 things Akai can do to dominate the production market. We've been there, done that. You can go reference that, and please share this to Akai and get those suggestions. This part of the video is literally producer motivation for us all. As I said before, the reason I got in this topic because I'm not going to do the live stream as much. This is the end of this last episode of the first season of Making Better Tracks. Please follow Dccarsonmusic. All link in the description to his YouTube channel. He has YouTube videos dropping and things of that nature. He's gonna pick up, what he's doing because he has a lot of content to offer. But when I'm not making videos, I'm gonna be making beats with my headphones on because if you have a newborn, you know what that's like. And I had to ask myself, am I gonna really take the time to decide to commit to making beats, or am I playing? And that's producing artists. Think about this: are we gonna use our gifts, or are we gonna be playing? Because like DC just said, we don't understand that life is too short. Look at the news every day. People, like DC said, the arrogance we all have, the arrogance that we think we're going to live forever. No, create your tracks, put them on streaming next, daily. Create your tracks, put out your ideas, die empty because you're not going to release every idea that you have. You know what I'm saying? So real talk, DC, you have any closing statements? Before we get to closing statements, again, if you want to support the show, again, it's the last show of the first season. I'll be starting up in about a few months. Please share and subscribe to my YouTube channel and things of that nature. Donate to my Cash App. Also, if you need sound packs for your productions, link in description. 3,000 808 drum loops, boom back kits, one shots, loops, and things of that nature. Please go to the link in description. Follow DC Carson. Support his Retail Therapy single on Spotify. But everybody, please take your production seriously. You have one life to live. Stop acting like you can live forever. DC, what are your closing statements? You breathing hard. You went.
I was just sitting there thinking about that whole thing that you were saying. And one thing I want to say, like, just from your pack, and again, Khalifa's not asking me to do this. I'm doing this because his brother has definitely blessed me with just a lot of knowledge. I don't think y'all realize what you're getting. You go out there, inbox me, DM me to tell me which channels you're going out here getting this type of stuff to show me. My point being is that as I close is that, again, we gave some things to Akai, and that's good. We like stuff. And then, but you as an individual, you have got to make decisions to step into greatness. You do not wake up in it. Walking into greatness is a path. It's a journey. You've seen Lord of the Rings. You've seen stuff like that. It absolutely is coming to greatness. But the reality is, in many of those shows, the greatness was already in them. They just needed to challenge themselves to get there. It wasn't about completing that journey. The journey outside was nowhere near as impactful as the journey was inside. And I'm sitting here telling you right now is that sometimes even some of y'all are dealing with anxiety and depression and unfortunately even suicidal thoughts because you're not letting this music come out. You're overthinking life when just at the point is just do it. Just go for it. Just have fun with it. They can say whatever they want to say, but if it makes you feel good, just go for it. If it releases something, let it be your therapy. I mean, Alicia Keys had the diary. I mean, the song, and I don't remember exactly. Just write. Right. Think about it. You can use words, but man, notes speak louder than words. Notes can be more impactful. So that's all I'm going to sit back and say. And as of course, follow me, DC Carson Music. Go off streaming all streaming
Platforms.
the sites, platforms. That's what I was looking for. Of course, that's out there. But the main thing I want to say is shoot me a message in the DM. Shoot me, Frank a message. Y'all feeling it? Shoot us something. If it's something you want to talk about, shoot it so that we can send it in there so we can talk about it. Because at the end of the day, y'all, I mean, just enjoy. Music is beautiful. Get back to your passion. I finally, after years, 25 years of military and flying helicopters and jumping out of stuff and doing all kind of cool stuff, that I finally had to say to myself, though I could easily be making money doing other stuff, this is the only thing I want to do for the rest of my life. And if I never make another dime, I'm fine, because this is what gives me life. And that's what you got to pursue. And sometimes you got to work in your job to get there, to get to this point. And I look a lot of work to get in this point. But man, just live life. Do this music and enjoy.
Yeah, everybody listen. Give it up to DC Carson Music. All his information, link in description. Follow his YouTube channel, subscribe now, and stream Retail Therapy on Spotify. His single is popping. But everybody, like we said, you have one life. Producers, you have one life. Artists, you have one life. This is the end of season 1 of Making Better Tracks. I'll be back after my son is born and things of that nature. But in the meantime, thank you. Follow DC Carson because he has videos dropping on his YouTube channel. Links in the description. Ask yourself right now, are you giving your music production or your songs for artists, are you giving it 100%? We gave the suggestions to Akai in the beginning of the show, but everybody, take your beat seriously and release your tracks. Don't keep your ideas stuck in your head. Post the stream and sell some, but release your tracks. Have a powerful year. Thanks everybody for coming through. Thank you, DC, for another great show, and have a good one. See you next season.